Hey folks, hang on there just a minute. We're just getting all hooked up here. Trying to get Mimi. Let's see, how do I do this? There. Okay. Waiting for Mimi. As soon as Mimi gets here, we'll hook her in. Waiting for Mimi. As soon as Mimi gets volume down. Oh, in the meantime, good morning, everybody. Hope you're having a fabulous day. I know I am. I woke up. It's always a good day when you wake up, right? So we are waiting for Miss Mimi to come join here. Hey, Gretchen, Kim, Charlene, Alicia, Samantha. Holy cow, look at all the people. Barbara, Virginia. Oh, I have two lists going. Leslie, Kim, Nicole, Gretchen, Etta. Oh my gosh, Roxanne. Oh my gosh, I'm seeing names I haven't seen in a long time. Shwanda. Hello, 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 everybody. Oh, come on. Let me see where our star guest is. Hey, Amber, how are you? Let me just find Mimi 1 second. She might be having troubles. Let's see. Let's see. So how's everybody's day going? It's a little rainy here in Florida. It's just drizzling and oh, there she is. She's coming. Come on. Let's go, girl. Okay, let's see. Okay, she's learning. She's learning. So let's just give her a second. She's joining. She's joining. She's coming. I promise you. Let's see. Is she here? Come on. Oh my gosh, look how many people are here. Holy cow. Holy cow. I can't believe this. This is great. Oh, there's Kim, New Mexico. Okay, yes, we're all learning, Alicia. Where is everybody from in the meantime while we're waiting for Mimi to figure out how she's connecting? Okay. Huh? Where are you all from? Okay, she was trying to connect to a different media source. We got our wires crossed. She's coming over to Facebook now. So, all right, we have Alabama, New York, Albuquerque, wow, Mississippi, North Carolina, California. I don't know if you've seen my posts in my group, but holy cow, I am just blown away by the amount of people from all over the world that's joined my group. And they've been active and participating. And I see Mimi's joined. Okay, Mimi, all you have to do is accept my invitation. Let me send it again. I don't want that. You're almost there. I know. I know. Okay, let's see. There we go. Bring you. I'm just blown away by the amount of people. Okay. Maybe I'm adding you. You have to accept. Do you see the acceptance? Ah, and there she
Oh
is.
my goodness. And I still can't get in properly. Hold on, give me a second.
Okay.
This is what happens when you deal with an amateur.
It's
My
okay.
apologies. Okay, here we go.
No, I'm looking at your, what am I looking at? Oh, oh, there we go.
Okay.
Now I've got to move mine up because for some reason, when I go with live with another person,
It's a split
my,
screen.
yeah, it's what's a screen, but it like zeroes in on it
Oh, I see.
zooms in. So
I'm
I
tr
gotta raise, I don't know how to make it any different. So I gotta raise mine up.
okay, and I'm trying to zoom in on mine a little bit, but I think this is as good as I'm going to get because I'm going to screw something up and well.
You're fine.
Oh,
So
sorry.
hi, how are you, Mimi?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me and for asking me to do this very fun project with you. I have so enjoyed this so much.
Oh, I'm so happy you did. And you know, it really pushed me to my limits because I had never done anything like this, and I just am in awe of your work, and I couldn't wait
Aw,
to do something with you. So this was
likewise.
a lot of fun. So, Mimi, where are you from?
So originally, I was born and raised in Puerto Rico, and then I was transplanted here to the United States, where I grew up in Brooklyn. And now I've been living in New Jersey, I want to say about 27 years.
Wow, very
So,
good.
yes, I'm on the East Coast.
Okay, so are you near the ocean?
No, I'm not in South Jersey. No. But
Oh, okay.
I'm hoping to return to the Caribbean within a few years to retire there.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, I'm a
Oh,
beach girl. I'm a summer baby and, I'm a beach girl. Yeah.
me too.
I know there's nothing
Me
like it. I wasn't born for, the winters here, although our Canadian friends will say, this is not winter, what we
true.
get here on the East Coast. But yeah, I like the season changes, but I don't enjoy winter at all.
Yeah, I get that one.
Yeah.
Okay. So, well, I'm here in Vero, which I'm sure everybody knows by now.
Lucky
Uh,
warm weather.
oh, it's been extremely warm. We're having unseasonably temperatures. The heat index has been 102, 103
Oh my
during the
goodness.
day, but it goes down to 70s at night.
Okay, that's
Um,
nice.
yeah, but today's a nice drizzly, rainy day, which we need very badly, and it's only 78 degrees. So,
Here also,
mm,
we are having a rainy day here.
yeah,
Yeah.
so we are so appreciating the rain. But I just want to thank everybody for joining us. And I am going to link all the videos that Mimi and I did. Plus, I will be posting this journal on my YouTube, which I'm sure Mimi's going to post hers as well. And I will put those in the playlist as well. So
Beautiful.
the playlist will be all in the whole collaboration. It says Mimi and Robin's collaboration May, and everything will be right there for you to just be able to go through each video. So, without further ado, I don't know how to give you the screen. Let's see.
Well, we can share it. It's
Okay,
okay.
okay, you start. Let's see.
Okay.
Let's see what you've done. I want to see that cover.
All right. So I just, I need to put this disclaimer out to everyone, and I am going to apologize in advance. This is my very first live, and so I'm a little nervous. The only good thing is that I am showing something that I've created, so that's very comfortable for me. But I am nervous. So you're going to hear that in my voice. And although I have flipped through my book twice, it's still a little new to me. So we're going to kind of discover it together as I show it to you. The last video that I made, I had hinged my panels, but my covers were not, my front cover, my back covers were not attached. They were not decorated. So let me show you what I did first. And I actually did this last night because, there's nothing like working at the 11th hour. So I used the topper that I had made a while back when I was challenging myself to uh, recycle or repurpose cardboard, and I had made several of them, and I have used them throughout the years. This was, I want to say, maybe 2 years ago, if not more. And so I picked this topper to be the cover of the book after I had decided that I wanted to use some old lace and a long piece of a doily, which I attached to the book. If anyone watched the videos, they know that I wanted to preserve the covers as much as I could. So I feel that I did that. I still showed them, but they're not exposed. They're not fully exposed, the outside. So this is all attached. And then I used a piece of, I want to say this is chiffon. If it isn't, please don't come for me because I barely know the difference between something that's crocheted and lace. So
You sound like me.
this is just, I'm sorry. My grandmother was a seamstress. I should know all this, but um, if it's visually appealing and it feels good to the touch, then I use it. I don't know what the name is. So I put a piece of that, and then I left, which I really wanted to do, I left the inside cover untouched. I wanted to preserve, how old the book is. It's from the 1800s, and that was one of the reasons why I wanted to work with this book. The size was also appealing because it was a small surface, and because it was the first time that I was doing this, it made me feel a little more confident because this was all a vision that I had, and I had not really followed any one way to do it. So I kind of went the way I like to work, which is intuitively. And, sometimes it's hard to translate what's in your head to to life. So
Yes,
I
that's
place
very true.
right? I mean, we can imagine it, but then when we start working it, it sometimes it just doesn't happen. And it's not because you're not trying, it's just because you can imagine a finished product, but there's a process involved in that. And
Right. And don't you
um
find that more than once you'll start it one way and it ends up being a totally different way?
90% of the time that I work on
Yes,
something that I've thought about, nine, if not more, but I'm being
yes,
generous. Absolutely.
yes,
And
yes.
that's part of the joy of the creative process as a creative. I love when I watch videos and something doesn't work and then you have to go to plan B or C.
Right.
Because that's the reality of what happens when we craft. We start thinking one thing and then sometimes it doesn't happen that way.
And
And
it's not just with junk journaling, it's with any craft, really.
I would imagine, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
I don't consider myself to be a creative person, but I would imagine that with anything that's an original work, there have to be some bumps along the road. So, and that's just what makes the process even more enjoyable, I think, for me, because
exactly.
I always say that most successful people have plan B, and plan A doesn't necessarily always work. So you need a backup and then a backup for your backup.
Exactly.
So I was actually really surprised because, and I think, Robin, and all thanks to you, part of the reason why I was able to bring this to life as close as to what I had imagined it was because I had a month to work on it. So
Yeah.
I was able to be methodical about my process, and I tend to be a very organized and obsessive person. So I had time to say, okay, this is what I usually do. I shop my items. That gives me a base. And then let me look at my pages. And I could touch my pages 50 times throughout, a whole week. And then kind of, because you have to become
Yeah,
one with your project, I feel.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
gotta, it's gotta speak to you in some, I know it sounds like corny, but I don't know. Is that word allowed? Or
Yes, I think so.
or hokey. Let's just say hokey. It sounds kind of hokey,
Yeah,
but you become one with what you're creating, right? Because it's an extension of you. Not
yeah,
to
and
take it too
sometimes,
seriously, but
yeah, and sometimes you get a block where you just look at it and say,
right,
I don't know. And you got to
right.
get up and walk away,
And you
and
walk
then
away from it. Exactly,
yeah,
exactly.
and
You walk
and then
away
you
from
come
it.
back the day later, and it's like, oh well, I'll just do this. It all just happens. It
Absolutely. And
yeah,
sometimes, like I say, the creative spirit is not moving you that particular
right,
day for some reason, or, you're thinking
exactly.
about your grocery list or whatever. So it just the time that I knew that I had to work on it really worked to my advantage to kind of map my way through it and really be thoughtful about it. So I have to say that I feel that I was very thoughtful about how this came together.
Okay.
So just this morning, I put this vintage lace on here to hinge the front and the back cover. And so the cover I decorated last night because it took me a minute, to think of what I wanted to do with it. And so I mentioned that I used the topper, and I wanted to preserve as much as I could the original pages of the book. So this
That
is an
topper is
original.
beautiful.
Oh, thank you. And it's a little old, and I had a couple to choose from, and this is the one that actually, that won because I wanted this to be feminine. And I think I explained that on the first video. I wanted this to be kind of like a tribute to women and,
Right,
of all ages, because May is Mother's Day, and just to women in general, whether they're birth mothers or adoptive mothers or not mothers at all.
right,
And so I just wanted it to be, even though it's old and vintage, I wanted to have a feminine touch. And I think the flowers, and the pink, which I don't work with, kind of did it for me. So I wanted to preserve as much as I could the original pages of the book. And so the wear and tear I loved. I did do some distressing along the edges of the book, and you'll see how they're, just a little more wrinkled than you had seen them on the videos. And that's because I kind of, went in and bent them a little bit and, all that. So just to
That's
give it
great.
more of that feel.
Yeah.
The book, in fact, was in great condition, which, was a plus. So then I also used some French rag papers, pages from a book. I don't know how old that book is. I can post it down below if anybody's interested. I had purchased that a while ago, and I just liked how the pages kind of were just the right size larger than the original book, because I wanted this kind of, messy look, because I think we're messy, life is
Yeah.
messy. We're kind of like all over the place. Nothing is perfect. And I wanted
Yep.
this to reflect that also.
Oh, good. Good.
So, so let me just give you a flip through. I think that's like, you can ask me questions as I go along if you have any. I did some distressing here, some gessoing, because I didn't have, talk about having plan B. I did not have paste. And so I used what I had. These are some vintage papers, and I go through that in the videos. Put a little dangle in here. And so you saw how I hinged my panel. So when I flip the page, I go exactly to the one behind it. Not because it was originally attached, but because that's how I hinged them. I made them separate, and
Perfect.
then I hinged them to look, one.
I like
And
how you did that.
it was like, I started making panels, and then it was like, well, you know, I I started, so now I have to finish, and now I have to figure out how I'm going to do it. And I didn't want to do rings. So it's like, you start thinking, because you have this idea of how, it's going to be overflowy, and it's going to be thick, and it's going to have all this, but it just, yeah, it was a leap of faith in a lot of ways. And so I love working with vellum. I'm not a stamper, but I did do some stamping. My friend Beth Andrews is like the master stamper, and I've learned so much from her.
Oh,
And
pretty.
she is an amazing, like, she works with lace, and she layers lace like nobody's business. Nobody does it like her. And so I was
Wow.
very inspired by her work also. And so I have some of her things here that I just kind of like, stop and look and go, okay, if I was Beth, what would I do other than, take 3 days to put a tag together, because I work fast. She takes her time. But so a lot of this is inspired by her work. And
Okay.
so here I have a little, glassine bag with a little coffee dye paper and some basic layers. There's mixed things in here. Not everything is vintage, but I want to say that what's not authentic vintage is vintage inspired.
Okay.
And so this is just a little dangle that I made here, and it's not so interactive because I was focusing on layers. So, this I sealed, the tag doesn't come off. So it's a little bit of a look book, if you will, but there are places to put things and create. And so this obviously is on the original book pages, again, backed by the larger French rack paper pages. And I have to keep looking to see where the pages flip out, because I'm not really sure. This is something that I had made for, I'm not sure what, for a group. And I liked it. And I think I added a couple of things and added some vintage things in here and a piece
Oh,
of
that's
coffee dye
pretty.
paper. Thank
That's
you.
pretty.
And so there's, there's a mixture of vintage and grunge, because that was the deal, right? That's what was asked.
Right, right.
Grunge. So here I have something that I had made a while back, this little piece of acetate that I so enjoy working with This was coffee dyed paper, some paper lace. This is a vintage card, a vintage photo, and a bit of a running lace strip that I made because, you know, I don't throw anything out. And sometimes I
Right.
don't know what to do with things. So when all else fails, I run it through the sewing machine. And there it
Okay.
goes. So I was able to use that.
Perfect.
Here, I feel like there are pages I should be flipping out already, but I haven't found them. Okay, no, maybe not yet. And so here's a little bit of a collage that I put together. This is something that I had worked on a while back. I made several of them with a little vellum, a little paper lace. This was a vintage photo that I ended up cutting down to this size.
Okay,
This
Mimi,
is,
we've got a couple questions here.
oh, sure.
Um, Dee would like to know if you glue the other pages onto the ones in the book.
Well, I took out so I worked on I call these panels because everything was made separately, Dee. So what I did was when I worked on a small page, for instance, this page, I glued it onto the larger page. And then this page is what was glued onto the accordion hinge. And that's all on the fourth video, part 4.
Right, and the video where you hinged it, you videoed that on part 4, right?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
So for a
Kim,
little more detailed explanation, part 4, and they're short
right,
videos considering the amount of time that it took me to do this because I edited the heck out of those videos.
right, because
So,
Kim was asking if there was a video for the hinges. I was sure you did them in part 4, but
yes, part
yeah.
4. Okay.
Okay, keep going.
Okay. So, and then I just, you know, used layers. This is the original book page. All the French paper is the backing that is glued onto the hinge. Okay, so everything on top of that is the original book pages and whatever other layers I have used. And so I think I was here. So some lace. I found out after I used this that this was gifted to me by Lisa, and I love this so much. And I had not Lisa Seacoach from our group, and I have been hoarding it. And it was actually like a little folded piece of paper. And I was so stingy with it that I only used half of it here. And I think I used the other half somewhere else in the book. So I really, you know, that's the one thing, you know, we hoard, but
I
eventually we'll
know.
use. And so I felt that it needed a little something here. And I attached this little safety pin with a little vintage button. And
Oh,
so this page, this is an altered paper clip that I made a while back. Okay, so this page does open. So this is the back of the clip, right? So the clip comes out, and to it I attached some vintage. I don't think this is lace, but it's vintage something. So I'm just call it some vintage fabric. If you know
hmm
what it is, I'm happy to hear you tell
yeah,
me.
because I never know what to call that stuff
I don't
either.
either, but I know it's vintage fabric, but this I'm
Yeah,
sure has a name. This is a vintage card. This is not vintage, but I thought it looked nice there. You know, I like my dangles and my accessories, so that's that. And some vintage wallpaper, piano
trim.
roll.
Yep, it could be trendy.
Oh, it could be trim. Okay. Okay. That's what I would say, but you know, I
Some
don't know.
piano paper I see there.
Uh-huh. Piano
Yeah.
paper. And so it's a little stack of papers that are removable. Okay. So these are removable. And so this is a decoration on the paper clip. There's a little delay. I knew enough to set my iPad in front of me to see what you see, but there's a little delay. So if I'm off camera, please forgive me. And so the back page, I think this is one of the first panels that I made, and it was just the simple pocket. And if you know me, you know that I'm always like talking about how basic and how lame pockets are because, you know, And then I have the nerve to say, I'm not throwing shade, but I really am. Um, but I just, I just feel the pockets are like, oh, not another pocket. But what
I
would we
know.
do without pockets? We need them. So I can't, you can't trash them too much. But it was simple and I thought it looked so pretty. And I put all vintage stuff in there.
Oh, it does. It looks great.
So, and this is lace that was gifted to me by my friend Beth. And so this page, oh, I showed you, this page flips open. So there's a little bit of workspace here, which I may still put something in there. I may decorate it and, finish it. I'm not sure. This, I struggled with this panel a little bit because it was a little plain. And then I kept going back to this a couple of times, not knowing what to do with it. And then I realized when it kind of came to me that I could put a window here. And so I layered a window over this image. And I finally said, oh, maybe I can just do this like like a tab. So it looks like this page is interactive, but it's not. Everything is glued down.
Okay.
And then the back of it is plain. I may not do something on there. We'll see. This was also, I think, one of the first ones that I put together, this little cluster. And then I went back and I did some stenciling here with gesso because I didn't have my texture paste. It was so dry. It's been so long since I used it. And then I don't know if you guys watched the video, you would recall that I was going to cut this. And then I said, no, I'm going to leave it because I want to put some eyelets in there, which I really, really love.
Yeah.
I dig my eyelets.
Yeah.
So I just tied a little seam binding to that and put a little bit of this beautiful trim on here. And then I said, oh, it needs a little something. So one of these big safety pins. I love the finish. It's not vintage, but because of the color, it could pass,
It passes.
right?
It does, but I do love the eyelets. That's great.
Robin, I am so in love with eyelets. What do you call that gadget that you use for the eyelets? It's not loving me so much. My
Oh yeah, no.
crocodile. Oh, jeez.
Crocodile.
Yeah,
No,
but
I don't really care for mine either.
oh,
It
I'm so nice
it
to it,
gives
but it's not loving me back.
yeah, it gives me a heart. It bit me one day.
Oh no. Yeah, we can't have a relationship like that.
Yeah, no, on a live video, it bit me.
You're so brave to do those live videos. Oh my God. Let me not even say that word again because I go into a panic.
Oh, you're doing great. Keep going, girl.
So thank you. So here I just made a little pocket, very simple with, some vintage lace. And then I did a little bit of
Oh,
layering. This is
okay.
a rusted paper clip. And here's the other half of that beautiful paper that Lisa gave me,
Oh,
embossed paper. And so I put it here. I like to repeat certain elements when I put a journal together because I feel that it gives it a little bit of cohesiveness and
right,
continuity. So
right,
if I use the same trim in a couple of places, it's perfectly okay with me because it's one work. And so it just shows that even though it's different, it belongs together. That's my train of
right,
thought. I mean, every creator is different. So
right.
this is a piece of, I had used this a while back, or, the other part of it, it was a really large magazine page. And I loved this and I just couldn't throw it out, even though I didn't use it. And sure enough, I used it for this. It was the perfect size. I felt that the little tickets, hanging here
Yeah,
and the
no, it
little,
all goes well.
right, and the little music note card here,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that's where you belong. Thanks for waiting. And so here it's the same thing. For me, this was all about, um, the project for me was about stepping out of my comfort zone and working on something that I've wanted to do a long time, which was what you asked, alter a book. And I've always wanted to alter a vintage book with a lot of texture and a lot of layers. And so everything for me was about that. To me personally, layering is one or two things and I call it a day. We're done. I'm a very minimalist when it comes to that because I also feel that I can leave the canvas for whomever has the book eventually to
Right,
create on it, right? So I don't want to cover all of it, but for this project, that was my intention to
right.
do finished pages, to have a finished project. And so, so this is lace, some vintage papers, vintage card, a ticket. This is not vintage, but you saw it on another page, in another composition. And here, I may put something in here because, you know, there's room, but I'm not sure. This is not vintage, but it goes with the composition and I love it, so it's there. And okay, so the next page is pretty much all vintage. This is
Ooh, look at
vintage.
that.
Isn't it beautiful? I was, you know,
Oh,
and
gorgeous.
I'm not tooting my horn. I'm just admiring the finished product.
And I
But
watched you when you made that, and it was just phenomenal.
it just kind of came together and I didn't want a
Yeah,
lot of color, but I didn't mind a pop of color. And this just kind of, you know, you see the old tape, you see the beautiful photo. This is not vintage, and clearly this is not vintage. And I don't think this is vintage, but I'm not sure. I want to say this is not vintage, but this is, and I love the way that came together, and it needed the bare minimums after, so I was happy to leave it be.
it
And
looks great.
thank you. And one of the benefits of working on separate panels was that at the end, I can pretty much pair it any way I want, right? So I can go through my 20 panels and say this one and this one looks good together. So they're going to go side by side. And so there's a little continuity here, you know, with the hmm, with the trim, the lace, the applique. I have no idea what it is, but I'm talking about these flowers. So, although the pages are very different, you know, I felt they went well together. And this is some of my original painted on paper, a piece of lace, a little die cut, a vintage button. These are all vintage buttons. Some lace. This is not vintage lace. And a bead that I got. I don't know if it was in swap or a box or as a gift, but it's beautiful. And I felt that it complemented the other page, you know, the blue on the bead. So
Yeah,
there it
you're right,
went.
Dee. Dee is telling you it flows, and it does. It flows
Thank
very
you.
nicely.
And you
And
know,
Rebecca Jane says, Happy Saturday.
happy Saturday. And you know, it just, what flows to me may not flow to someone else's eye, right? What may not be easy on someone else's eye, but that's the beauty of, you know, creating. You go with
Right,
what you feel is working or what's moving you at the moment, you know? Something
right.
speaks to you when you use it and hopefully you do it justice, you know?
Yeah.
So this is not vintage. This is just this was gifted to me by my friend Beth. And it's a beautiful piece of coffee type paper that I've been, oh my God, if she could only tell me how long I've had this, I want to say years. And I finally used it. And so these are some little specimen cards, I guess, or slides that you know, I go off on this tangent and then I make 12 of one thing or until, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I have to go to sleep. And so I made several of these, and this one I had left blank and then I stamped on this. You can see my stamping skills are not the best,
Oh,
but
stop.
I stamped and it looked fine to me, and so I left it. And so a little charm that's not vintage on a little piece of crochet something. This is crochet, I think. And then the next page just kind of continues with the colors, and it has some continuity with the silver here. This was something that I had made a few of, these huge tabs that I just love. And
Oh, cool.
I had put this little bling on it, and I was
Oh,
like,
look at the hanger.
is that not cute?
Yeah.
And they come in like different finishes. They come in like an antique and gold and different sizes. And the first time I saw them, Catherine had used them. And I don't know if they were this size. And then I was like, oh, I need some of those. I think I got them on the Amazon. So
Oh,
uh,
okay.
if anyone is interested, I'm, I'm almost certain that's where I got them.
Yeah.
And so I made this like a little bit of a page topper, gave it a little, a little bling up there, and that's it. Just hung a little lace, and I feel that, it's a flowy composition and perfect. So it's grungy, it's vintage, it's feminine because it has lace and flowers.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it looks great.
Thank you. And so here, let's see. How did this come about? This this page is 50 thoughts colliding, honestly. And I cannot tell you what came first. This I had for a long time without this. I found this as I was putting the book together, but I had already put this piece of coffee dyed fabric on it that I got from Beth. And so I think I had wanted to do something that ties like that. I love things like that. And I had vellum already out.
Okay.
So I figured, oh, let me just do it with the vellum. I also had these flowers that I had, in my stash. I had punched a while back. I had taken them out on my original box of things that I wanted to use.
So that's
This
a
came,
vellum pocket?
this is, yeah, it's like a vellum pocket. Is that
Oh,
what,
okay.
yeah. I mean, you can
Oh,
untie
now I
this.
see. Okay.
Yeah. You can
Oh,
untie it,
perfect.
but it slides in and out, so you don't need to untie it.
Right, right. I do the same thing. I don't untie. I use them like belly bands.
You know what? Because you know what would happen to me? I'll break it.
Yeah,
And so if I don't have to fiddle with it, it I'll preserve it. If I have to
yeah.
fiddle with it, we're in trouble.
Yep.
So this little card here with the butterfly, I showed you something that was similar to that. Remember I said I had made some before with vellum,
Right,
this kind of thing, with the stenciling and the stamping. And so,
right.
but this was an envelope. And when I pulled it to use for this, it wasn't with the original stash of things. It that came later, and this actually was interactive. I had two pieces of paper in there, and they really weren't practical. So what I did was I closed it. I closed this
Okay,
yesterday. I stitched it, and then I backed it with some paper that I had coffee dyed. This is my idea of coffee dyeing. You just throw it in there and I don't know what happens. I'm not gifted like that. So, and then I decided that this would be perfect for here. Had a little color, had grunge, it's delicate. And then I just, to be able to put my brads and the layers, I kind of use this to give it a little more sturdiness.
okay.
And
All
so
right.
I'm happy with the way that came out. And then this page opens up, and then we have French rag paper here for
Okay.
workspace. So let me put this back. And then it also serves as do we call this a tuck or a pocket? I don't know.
Um, I don't know either.
We're going to call it a pocket just so I don't, so I don't keep throwing shade at the pockets.
Okay.
So this little piece here I had made a while back when I went on a tangent with numbers and scraps of paper on my table, and I don't throw anything out. And so I made clusters like that. And then I decided that I think it was when I made this, I decided that I was going to put the the eyelets and tie them. And so a piece of coffee dyed paper, this is not interactive. Everything is in place. And
I
this
like that.
is, it came out, thank you. It came out, I'm happy with the way it came out because I love vellum and I love the different elements. And I feel that it complements the other page.
Yeah. Yeah,
You know,
definitely.
it's all about that.
Yep.
So then we're almost there, folks. This I had made for something, I don't know what. I think this is a piece of somebody's kit. I don't know whose it is, but they're like eco dyed papers, but it's a digital kit. And then there's vintage paper here and a label. And this is some paper lace. I, of course, gave it a little bling, put a little topper on it. And I had made this for something. I don't know if it was a challenge or a prompt or I don't know what it was, but I had it in my stash and I liked the way it looked. And so this flips up and this is vintage paper here. And then to complement it, I basically just used a piece of the original book page
Okay.
and a piece of vintage something. That may be a ticket, looks like a transportation ticket. And just kind of give it a little, a little backing for color pop. And
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah. Oh,
And
that
I
looks
think
great.
it just, it came together quick and easy.
Yeah.
And I think this was the first panel that I made
Yeah. It
on
is.
the first video, right?
Yep. Yep.
And then I wasn't sure what to do with it. I love the fact that I have an envelope that's been around. You can see the markings on it, and that does not bother me at all. I will only replace it if it's torn or something like that, but it just shows that it's lived a little. And
Right.
so I wasn't sure if I wanted to close this or not, but I love the fact that you could see the picture. And I would have closed it just to not cover the picture, but I'm going to leave it open just because it's interesting, but not because I want to slide anything in there.
Okay.
And then I decided to, when I figured out where this was going to go, I gave it the final touch of the seam binding, and
Yeah.
I chose those two colors. And
That's
so this
great.
is a blank page back here. Thank you. And then another blank page and a little belly band here. This is clearly not vintage. With a blank tag, a vintage photo, and a little stamped piece of paper that I want to say I got it from Beth. And the back page, the hinge that I mentioned, and this is what the back cover looks like.
Oh,
I
wow.
wanted I wanted to keep the piece of chiffon in place, and I didn't want to glue it because then that would just look sloppy, and I don't love when I see the glue.
Right.
So I put in an eyelet. Even though you see it here, it doesn't bother me because it
Yeah, but
actually
it goes with it. The eyelet's a
yeah,
perfect color.
like I could get away with that, I felt. And
Yeah.
so I just want to show you, I had pulled this out from the beginning and I really wanted to use it. And so I made it into a little booklet. It's a wax bag that had this doily already attached to it. And it was so pretty, and I didn't want to open it because then the glue on the doily would have torn it. So I've been saving it to use it for something. And I felt that this would be the perfect time. And so this image is from Beth. This is on Vintage Ledger. And I just tied the string around it, put a little eyelet on it, did a little collaging. And so I preserved the first page of the book in here
Oh, look at that.
because I didn't use it and I didn't want to commit it to anything, and I think I kind of glued it here a little bit. But anyway, it's the
Okay, you're
original.
getting a question here.
Oh,
What
sure.
did you use to put your hinges together with?
Um, so my whole hinging system is a piece of cardstock folded, and this is all in video 4, but I'll give you a big
Yes.
picture. Folded, I
It's
actually
like
used my,
accordion, wasn't it?
right, I scored it at 1 inch. I folded it like an accordion, and then I mounted, if you will, each panel so it would flip and they would all be together. But this is on part 4, and it's a short video. Take a look at it because it explains it really well, better than what I'm
Right.
doing now.
And also, Cheryl is telling you your journal is amazing.
Oh, thank you. That's a compliment. Thank you.
Yes.
Um, and so yeah, so the hinging, it's all in part 4 from beginning to end. So it'll make sense if you watch that video. It'll make sense. And if it doesn't, ask me a question and I'll be happy to answer it on the comments. So I preserved the original page and other pages, the beginning of the book, the early pages of the book. And then I kind of made this into a little, a little pamphlet, and put a little strip of that lace that I use for the other pages. And this is tucked in the back of the book because this I couldn't hinge because I had already put the ruffle on it. And I couldn't glue this back panel of this little booklet. So it's going in the book as an insert. Does that make sense?
Nice.
Thank you. And that's it. This is what Robin has made me do, challenged me to work out of my comfort zone and work on something that I have so wanted to do for a long, long time, Robin. I am so grateful. I am so grateful.
Oh,
It's always good to be pushed, and because you can elevate your skill
right.
and your work. And so you've done that for me, and I am so grateful.
Oh, you're welcome, Mimi. Thank you for doing this with me.
I
Now, my
loved it.
book is not pretty like yours,
Your book is
and
fabulous. I've watched your videos.
it is eclectic at most, at least, at least. And I'm going to try to lift this up a little more. Now, Mimi, it's your turn to watch the comments if you can see them.
Okay, I'm going to, do you want me to, no, then I can't get out and tell you what the questions are. So,
No,
I'm
you
on
guys
it.
stay here. You're on it with me.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to try to fit this in as best. Let's see. I got to move it around. See, I see on my camera one thing, but then on the together thing, can you see my book?
I see the top right-hand corner. Now I don't.
No, you don't. See, when it
Correct.
goes together, I got to figure out which way to go.
Well, get me off the screen.
No, 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 because I want to hear your voice.
But I can't stay on without being on the screen?
Oh, maybe you can. I don't know how to.
Ditch my end of the screen. I'll stay on. I'm on.
Let me see if I can do it. No, it says change to viewer.
Uh,
Um, I don't want to remove you. Sorry. You're
okay.
with me. You're
I,
with me
I'm
to the end.
I'm in it.
You're in it to win it, see? Oh, let me ask you, Mimi, what are you going to do with your journal? Um, are
So
you going to put it on your shop?
I don't know that I'm going to put it on my shop because I have been approached by 3 people to, I will be offering my journal for sale.
Yeah.
But 3 people have approached me about it. So I don't, if none of them want it, it will make it to my shop, and I will honor, I will get back to them once it's finished and priced. It's not even priced yet. Um, to them in the order that they approached me. And if they pass on it, then it will be on my shop.
Okay.
So
So,
it is going to be offered, but it's not offered to the public yet.
right.
And it's not even finished. I want to work on those pages, and I felt that will also give me an opportunity to do something in the journal that will just be for the person that takes it home and gives it a home, you know?
Right.
So,
Right. All
but
right. Well,
thank you for asking that. Whomever asked that, thank you.
okay. Well, here's mine.
Let's do it.
And let's do it. Mine, I took a book, and if you watch the videos, 1 through 3, 4, however many we did, I think we did 4, right?
4, yes.
And I just took pages out and glued pages together and then went from there. So this is what my cover ended up. I put, let's see. Oh, dear me. Let's see. I gotta raise this camera up somehow. I don't know how I'm gonna do this, but it is zooming. The more I raise it, the more it zooms in. How crazy is that? Maybe if I bring it down.
Oh, there it goes. It looks like you're giving yourself more space, more table space on the camera. Bring the book up a little bit. Now you're zooming in.
Oh man. All right. That's as good as I can get it. So, oh, I got people messaging me. Stop. Okay. You know what I'm gonna do, Mimi? I'm gonna remove you, and you
Okay.
talk to me through chat.
Oh, okay.
I hope I can see you.
Oh my God, you're so gifted to be able to multitask.
Okay.
Like that. All right, so I'll talk to you through chat and I'll look for the comments.
And I'll bring you back in.
Okay, sounds
All right.
good. Thanks,
Okay.
everyone. Thanks, Robin.
You're welcome. All right. Okay. So now you can see my book. Even though I really can't hear anybody. Let's see. Let me see if I can see comments. There we go. Okay. So this is my cover. And I put the metal corners on, and I tried to make them look rusty. I painted on them, I inked on them, I did everything I could to them. This is a snippet that I had made from dried flowers from my garden. This is a piece of a fern, this is a flower, there's some book page under there. And the snippet didn't really want to bend to go on here, so I had to wet it a little, and I had to really work with it. I ended up covering the book with it's a very sheer fabric that I had just found this piece of it in a reuse it shop. And I put some of this stuff on it. It's some kind of stuff. Um, and then these, they don't call this lace. I don't know what you call it, but I have a lot of it. And I decided I needed color. I'm a color person. Then I did this, layered up some, this is homemade paper, some book page, a cluster, and these are tags I made. This is with tin foil. This one is laminated, and then that is a little piece of a flower out of my garden that I laminated. And then I put a little, this is the actual material that I covered the book with, and so is this. So I open it up, and you can see there's pages missing. No, you can't because it's so fat. But I started out and I put a front pocket here, and I put a little envelope, and this is out of my stash from Mass Makes. And you open it up, and it's just a very writable envelope. And in my book, things may not go together, or they may, because that's how I roll. If it looks right, and excuse my dogs, they just saw something, so they're gonna bark. This, I put the pages together and I made a top-loading pocket, and I just put an old letter in here. It's an old letter, coffee dyed on the back, and that's in that pocket. And this is a printable, but then I stamped on it. So I do a lot of stamping. This is just collaged up stamps, some just scrap paper. This is from, I play with AI. I make a lot of my own papers, and this is part of something I was trying to create and it didn't come out right. So I just ripped it off, and I took these crayons, distress crayons, and I distressed all around it, and I distressed with crayons all around here. I put tag in here, and all my tags always do something. Yep, this one opens up and opens up. So this is very writable here. And so that's it. So I made, this is a page glued to these pages. So everything I did not add into this. This is just pages that are ripped out and pages that are glued together. And then here, of course, I am a waterfall freak. So what I did here was I made you a waterfall, and I showed this in my tutorial. These are vellum envelopes. And what I did was I put the washi tape, and then I took the crayon, and then I took a rub-on sticker. And I put more vellum here, or yeah, washi. And inside each envelope, I happened to buy a bag full of buttons that are all in their original little containers. So this one's G.H. Bass Company. And there's every one of these pockets have a button. This one's got thread with little beads. But each one of these have their own little buttons. Okay, and then we tie the waterfall down to hold it down. And I just put very thin twine here. So we turn the page. This was in my stash. I had mass made a bunch of vellum envelopes. So I took this one because this page was kind of greenish. I had painted it. I painted a lot of the pages, or inked pages, and this is velvet that I glued on here. And this is a little Velcro closure. And this is a rub-on, the bird. And I just put a little scrappy pad in here that was in my mess mix. And I was so happy with Mimi because she said to me, "Why do you do mass makes and then don't use them?" So, so I said, you know what? I'm gonna actually use them. So that's what I did. This one, this page here, this is, oh, thank you, Cheryl. Uh, I'm trying to read comments and talk at the same time. I can't. This is a digital parrot. This is handmade paper that's dyed. This is whatever it is. It's like a lace. It's like a paper. I don't know what it is, but I have a little bit of it, and I put it on here. This is Tim Holtz cloth tape. And the reason I put that there was because when I was ripping pages out, I kind of ripped this a little bit, but this shows that you can fix anything. You can fix your mistakes, you know? I didn't mean to rip that page. But, so I just put the washi there. And it holds the pages in. And you can't even tell that I ripped it. So this is a junk envelope. And it's a pocket. And there's a little girl. And then on this side is a flippy pad. But on the insides of these, this is out of an art book, these pictures. So I decided to use them because the green went with the green. So yeah, I did the matchy-matchy thing. Every once in a while, I do the matchy-matchy thing. And okay, so on this side, this is just rub-ons with stamping. This is some kind of tape. I forget what it's called, but it's clear and it has writing on it. I have a lot of this. I don't know why, but I have it. And then that's a rub-on. This, I used my a punch to make that little fancy border. This tag I made the other day. I was yeah, who made one? I think it was Lisa. I don't know. Somebody in the Junkers group made one. So I made a tag and stuck that in there. So I turned the page, and yes, here's another pocket. Pet tape. That's what it's called. Pet tape. Thank you. And I put fabric on here. I put a little cheesecloth. I tore some of my digital, put a label, and then I made a little. I didn't make this. It was in my stash. I tried to use my stash. You'd be so proud of me, Mimi. And all I did was take the shears and just cut the end just to give it something different looking. And this is where I went awry. Oh no, that was the other journal. I'm sorry. I have to put something in my journals that is different. So I put a fox. I like my fox. He's a cute little fox. I always have to put something different. It just has to be. And somebody would be flipping through and go, what? So, and then here's just another old piece of, it's a bill or something. Just stuck it in there. Here, what I did was, see, as you can see, I painted the pages with just some of them, most of them are painted with white gesso or white, not white, white gesso. Some of the pages I paint with acrylics, but I just paint the pages. And this is, I have to say, Mimi, I don't know if you recall, but you showed when I very first joined the group, we did a collage and we did this paste on it. And I had that whole collage and I never cut it up. And oh, she loves the fox. Okay. Yes, yes, yes. So anyway, I finally cut this up and I've been using it. And this is just another one of those flippy pads. And this time I took the shears and just cut down the sides. I sewed a piece of fabric on the top. And then I put a leather little tab here with a brad. And then on this side, this is another piece of that collage with all the texture on it. Painted page. And this is just an old letter that I printed on vellum. And that goes in here. And then here's a pocket that I put in. It's got a tag, and of course a tag does something. Oh yeah, all my tags do something. This just flips up and flips down and flips over and just goes crazy. So you can put all kinds of stuff in there. And then what I loved, when I painted the pages, always let them dry before you close the book. Because when I opened the book, see how it tore the whole top off of that page? And it stuck to that book, this side. So you know what? I liked it. I think that looks pretty cool. And I love the feel of it. So then I just took some white gesso and I went over it, some clear gesso, not white, clear, and I went over it and oh my gosh, I love the feel of this page. So I'm not touching it. Then this is another one of my digitals here. And this, oh, this is a tag that I made. And lo and behold, I didn't do anything to it. But I got some stamping here. That stamp actually is with acrylic paint. And then over here, I was trying to do this rub-on. And it screwed up and it broke and it was half on here, half off. So I myself, very slowly, finished it. I put be yourself. This is washi up here with a stamp, washi. And then I had a little scrap of paper and I saw the S and I said, ooh, that would make a great tab. So I made a tab out of it. So yeah, that page is just what it is. And then this one is that double top corner tuck. And this, again, was glued to that page. But I just love the way it looks. So I just put some card in here. And here's a specimen card. Here's just the altered card that I messed with. This is just an advertisement thing I messed with. Then on this side here, this material, you know when you get sheets? I have a girlfriend that buys sheets all the time. And she's always giving me the ribbon that's wrapped around the sheet. So I took a piece of that and I just ruffled it, put it on here. This is the crayon. This is part of a digital, and this is just crayon. That distress crayon that I went around and distressed that with. This is a mass make. Let's look at the page first. These are rub-ons, these are stamps, and this is crayon. And the pages stuck together. You can see how they stuck together. And I just liked it, so I'm leaving it. But this was just a bunch of papers put together, and I was mass making, and I have a whole bunch of these, and I had no idea what I was going to do with them, what I had planned on, so I just stuck them in there. Okay. Okay. Wait, okay. I love that letter. D says, the torn wet page is gorgeous. Your ephemera. Oh my gosh, I gotta get rid of her. D would like to know the name of your crayons. Oh, okay. The crayons are, they're the Ranger crayons. They're distress crayons. I don't use them very often, but I use them quite a bit in this book. I have two sets. You know, they're the Tim Holtz. Yeah. So, but they, you know, a little bit goes a long way. And you just use them, you rub them in, and then you rub it with your finger or you add a little water. See, it doesn't come off after a while. But that's what you do with the crayons. Timmy's, yes. Yes, Timmy's. Okay, this page, I took some lace and material, and I sewed it over the lace. So then I tried to sew a book, and it sort of turned out okay. And I didn't make the pages even or anything. I figure whoever gets this can do whatever they want with it, but I sewed it all together, sewed all around it. I left the strings because I think the strings give it character, and it matches. See, I'm doing the matchy-matchy. And on this side is that holy, the rest of that, I used it up. And then this is a frame that I painted, I inked, I put some glitter something on it and put it over a picture. This is a little rub on here, and the picture with the holes and the grunginess. And then this is just a piece of paper that I just threw in here to throw in here. This is a pocket that we glued the pages together. Took a piece of this, I made it ribbon-like. I made a tab. And on this side, this is painted, inked, stamped, washi tape. Just the other piece of that paper is in here. This has got a little bit of everything on it. I just let loose on it. You know, I watched this guy. I can never remember his name. I want to call him Chris, and I know that's not right. But he says to not think about things, to trust the process. Trust the process. So that's what I do. I just trust my process. So then I did this one with just some writing space. You see the stamping behind here. I put a car in the bottom. I don't know why. It just seemed to go there. I put some material down here, made a little bow cluster with a flower. And then here, another pocket. What did I put in here? Let's see, what have we got in here? Oh, this is an envelope. An envelope. It looks like an envelope. And it's a writing pad. But you can use it for a page extender, whatever you want to use it for. And then we have the top loading pocket, which I put another letter that I tea-dyed. And that goes in that pocket. Come on, go in there. And then here's another piece of, and this is all painted, stamped, you know. And another piece, I just saw this piece sitting there, said, oh, I have one of these back here. So I put one up here. Huh. And then this is my paper that I made. And all I did was collage the whole paper. I just ripped it apart and collaged it and stamped on it. And I just liked the way it turned out, so I didn't put anything on it. So that is it. So now I'm going to bring Mimi back somehow. How do I do it? 1 second, Mimi, you're coming back. Let me get rid of these chats so I can see what I'm doing. Oh, come on, chats, go away. There we go. Let's see. Mimi, where are you? Oh, that's Facebook. Where's my phone? Oh my gosh, where are you? This is hysterical. There we are. I can find you now. All right, let's see. I want to add Mimi back in. No, not there. Okay, Mimi, come on. Oh, you couldn't join because of technical issues. Oh, dear. Oh, Mimi, I don't know what to do. But I thank you. Thank you so much for the collaboration. Thank you for working with me on this. This will be going in my shop. So if anyone's interested before it goes in my shop, let me know. And yeah, that's it. Oh, you are watching. Okay. Uh, so Mimi is watching. Um, and I thank everybody for taking the time out of this Saturday to join Mimi and I. There will we will post this to the YouTube along with all the other videos that went along with Mimi's and with mine, and it'll all be listed under the Rockin' Robin's Creative Corner, Robin McGrain, out on YouTube. I'll leave a link. And yeah, it's been fun. And Mimi, thank you, thank you, thank you so, so much. You were the best. So we'll see you all in the next video. And share, 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 share. Please, please share with everybody. My group is almost to 500. I want to get it there. It's so close. I can smell it. Oh. All right, guys. Have a great day. I love you. Mimi loves you. And we're happy you're here. Bye-bye.